Hola amigos, Ash here. Welcome back to Gents. I hope that you're doing well. Today we've got 10 different head-turning, captivating fragrances that are gonna help you get noticed in a positive way, not a negative one. Now, if you are a jerk of a person and you go around wearing nothing but a loincloth, it probably can't help you. The fragrances are not gonna make up that much ground. But if you're doing the other things right, these fragrances can definitely help you get noticed. They have good projection, solid scent clouds, good sillage from these ones, and they have that quality to them, that kind of addictive quality. I'll have them all linked down below in the description down there. So feel free to check them out down yonder. And also, here are some codes for you now. And these can save you between 10 and 20% at a bunch of different websites. Triple Trader's good for clones, Lucky Scent, Twisted Lily, Max Aroma, good for niche and some indie. And also designers at Max Aroma. And so Avant Garde got a bunch of stuff too. So we've got a good mix here of things. Some of them a little bit fresher, some more warm, sweet, more for fall and winter time. Some a little more expensive, some cheaper. And the fragrance that will kick this list off is this one, Invictus Victory. I don't know why. The stupidest way to present that. Now, Invictus Victory, I love. This is actually the fragrance that really started to make me come around to enjoying our little trophy having boy here. So this one has tonka and vanilla in the base, which frankly is one of those combinations that just about always works. People love the smell of tonka, people love the smell of vanilla. Put them together, tonka villa. Everybody loves it. It has that sweetness and warmth both from tonka and vanilla. They complement each other very well because tonka can actually take on vanilla kind of characteristics. And then in the opening here, you've got a nice, fresh, kind of zesty lemon. It actually smells a bit like Paco Rabanne's Pure Excess, which, surprise, is another fragrance that I love. So during the evening, especially in the cooler weather months, this stuff is amazing. Just don't get the 200 ml size bottle like I did. It looks weird. Why did I get 200 milliliters when I will never use this much? Because it was on sale. I have no excuses. Let's follow that up with the Tom Ford Noir Extreme. Yes, this one is quite good. Saffron, cardamom, nutmeg, and kulfi, some of the notes in the fragrance. This one is indulgent. It has almost a sort of gourmand edge to it, but quite a unique take on a gourmand, because while it does have some sweetness, and I wouldn't say, to be fair, it's not a full gourmand or anything, just to be clear, but while it has some sweetness, back to what I was saying, it's not like full-on sweet, which is something that's very popular right now. This one has that warmth to it that you would expect, but it also has a great spiciness, kind of a mix of both fresh spices and then warmer spices. It is a Tom Ford, which means it is pricey, but it has quite a unique scent profile. Nothing else out there really smells like this outside of maybe the Flanker, the Parfum version, but this is its own thing. And in spite of that uniqueness, it still maintains the wearability, the compliment factor, the sex appeal, whatever you want to call it. The next fragrance matches very well in terms of color scheme with the last one. It's from by Killian, and it is Black Phantom Memento Mori. Memento Mori, like the Haunted Mansion at Magic Kingdom down in Disney World. This one has coffee, rum, kind of a sugar aspect to the fragrance, a sugary aspect, and I believe cyanide as one of the notes, which is great. Of course, just marketing, but still interesting. This stuff though, I absolutely adore. It is strong, it's powerful. It does have like a bitterness to it, but then also a little sweetness at the same time. One of my favorite coffee fragrances. Actually took me a long time to even smell this one. It was out for years before I smelled it. And then as soon as I did, I was like, oh, why did it take me so long? And then I went and got myself a bottle. And actually I bought myself a fake bottle of this as well because I knew it would be fake. And I did a video about that on the channel, about some different stores that were popping up on Google selling fakes. So feel free to check that out. But yeah, this, an absolutely amazing fragrance. It is another one better for cool weather. Let's go a little bit fresher with the next one. Gentleman Eau de Toilette Intense. So this smells a little similar to Dior Homme Eau, which is unfortunately discontinued, very difficult to find nowadays. But Dior Homme Eau, when that came out, was basically like taking the Dior Homme DNA, a Dior Homme original, I guess I should clarify just for some people out there who might be thinking Dior Homme 2020 for some reason, but it took that DNA, that iris, and tweaked it and changed it and made it more a fragrance that you would wear during like spring, during the daytime. This is similar in some aspects to Dior Homme. You would use it the same time, so it's more like a spring fragrance, more of a daytime fragrance, very good office scent as well. So you have iris in here, you have woods, a little bit of aromatics to the scent. The iris is, you know, that type of iris that fits in with the Dior Homme line, with this line, of course, and with Valentino Womo Intense. It's that more slightly creamy iris, a bit sweet. Not really what I would call powdery, not soapy. I believe in this fragrance, it is officially a blue iris. So that kind of gives you an idea. Really, really well done, great versatility, and that one does stand out against most other fragrances on the market that people are wearing. We're going cheap with the next one. So I'm gonna warn you straight up, it doesn't cost much, it's really versatile, it's a blue fragrance. Talking about this, Coach Blue. So this has lime in the fragrance, it has woods in the scent. Actually, some people have compared it to the smell, I think, of Wanted Tonic by Azzaro, but I will say Coach Blue is much better than that one. This one is extremely fresh, clean, lightly sweet. It is one of those out of the shower type scent profiles, but for the price point, Coach Blue is a great potential pickup because not everybody has the money to spend to pick up, you know, an Elysium or Montalbano Verano from Ormond Jane for like a more expensive blue fragrance, or Sedley. And maybe they also don't want to spend the money to pick up a Bleu de Chanel or Sauvage or Y or even Dylan Blue. So in those circumstances, you can go for something like this. It'll get the job done. Also, the original Coach, Coach Platinum would be good choices. I mean to say the original Coach and Coach Platinum, in case that wasn't obvious. And we're gonna keep it affordable with the next one. We're gonna keep it cheap and then get some more expensive ones in, but let's keep it cheap for now with a Guess fragrance, 1981 Los Angeles. Guess surprisingly has some fragrances that are pretty good because most of them are crazy cheap. We're talking $20 and under a lot of times. And you know, when you get to those price points, under 20 bucks, a lot of that stuff is sewer water, carcinogen central. Spray it on your skin just melts off, or it smells just horrifically inexpensive. Now, I'm not telling you that Guess has fragrances you're gonna spray them on and go, oh, what is this? Is this the new soup du jour, the fragrance du jour? I'm not telling you that. I am telling you for, you know, $18 for a lot of these, they are more than capable. They have a nice scent profile to them, and nobody's gonna smell them in the air and go, oh God, what are you wearing? So this has notes of plum, mint, tobacco, and sandalwood, among others. And it actually smells a little bit similar to Versace Eros. Now, in terms of performance, this one is gonna be weaker than a lot of the ones in this list, if not all of the ones in this list. But because it is so cheap, you can go pretty heavy with the trigger. And while it does smell similar to Eros, it's not the exact same. You're gonna get those changes, you know, that plum in the opening instead of apple, and the tobacco coming out a bit here instead of the, you know, the large amount of vanilla that Eros has. But still yet, when you smell it, it should remind you of that one. Let's class it up with the next designer, Bleu de Chanel Parfum. So yeah, we went from not too expensive, kind of like medium expense in terms of designers, to cheap designers, to expensive designers. Bleu de Chanel, of course, being a Chanel, is pricey. With this being the Parfum version of Bleu de Chanel, it is the most pricey Bleu de Chanel. Until Chanel inevitably comes out with Bleu de Chanel Elixir, which whenever that happens, I'm just assuming it's gonna happen at this point, that will be the most expensive Bleu de Chanel. So this is essentially a deeper, richer, more mature take on Bleu de Chanel. It still has that freshness that the Eau de Toilette has, that the Eau de Parfum has, but it is reined in a little bit, and instead it's given like a ramped up woody character. You also have some nice aromatics in this fragrance as well. Perfect formal fragrance, great office fragrance, really nice casual scent. I mean, it's a Bleu de Chanel, right? You don't really have to go into detail about how versatile it is. We all know at this point, it's the most mature, grown-up, sophisticated Bleu de Chanel. Back to niche we go with Oud for Greatness from Initio. It's not called Oud for okayness, Oud for pretty goodness. No, Oud for greatness. This one has oud, saffron, and nutmeg, among other notes. And this is another one that packs a punch. It's that almost sugary oud that it has that draws people into it. And it's a scent profile that's been, we will say, very inspirational to other fragrances out there. Yeah, I mean, even Parfums de Marly came out with a version, or a fragrance, excuse me, that smells quite similar to this, named Halton. So yeah, it's a popular style of scent, we'll say. Even though this one will be slightly divisive, you know, some people can't pull this one off. In the air, I think it smells extremely good, very appealing, and it pushes out so much that it's not very hard to have people recognize you and your fragrance when you're wearing that one. Gonna change things up a little bit with the next one. It's in a blue bottle, a bright blue bottle, but it's not a blue fragrance. And actually it's one that is off and on difficult to find nowadays, but as of when I'm shooting this video, it's available at least a couple of discounters, so for a little while anyway, you can still find it. It's Amen Ultimate from Mugler. Now, while this is named Amen Ultimate, this is, I would say, not the most ultimate fragrance that Mugler has ever released in the Amen line. But unfortunately, Mugler has pretty much guillotined like all of their Amen fragrances. So that's pretty great. Pure malt, pure Havana. Why? What did you do to deserve this? Ultimate is, you know, it's kind of weird in a way. Not the fragrance, but it came out and it seemed like, well, okay, maybe Mugler is not giving up on the Amen line. You know, they came out with this one. Maybe there's gonna be some more coming down the pipe, because at the time this was released, the writing was on the wall and it didn't look good for the Amen line. But then the water started to get muddy and it looked like, oh, I think they're gonna be discontinuing like everything. So this one doesn't really smell like Amen. You may be thinking that this is going to take the original Amen and then make the ultimate version, but not really. It's a little sweet, but not heavy-handed. There is cappuccino in here, so it's like coffee, but with a lighter touch to it, you could say. It also has woods in here that give it a little bit of a green touch and a nice little freshness off the top as well. It's a really easygoing fragrance. It's overlooked. Nobody really is wearing this. You can't really find it all that much anymore either. So it's a great under the radar choice. It has that likability to it. It just wasn't really a hit, and then pretty much gone. Last but not least, Polo Red Parfum from Ralph Lauren. For the most part, with some outliers, I have been a little bit more team Polo Red than Polo Blue. Now, admittedly, there are some Polo Blue flankers that are really nice, but the original Eau de Toilette of Polo Blue wasn't a huge fan of. I did think the original Polo Red Eau de Toilette was better than the original Polo Blue. And this one, while it's not for me quite on the level of Polo Red Intense and Red Extreme, which are both difficult to find nowadays, I would probably put this like right underneath those as the best Polo Red. And since those ones you can't really find, that's the one I would point you to. So as blood orange, pink pepper, bergamot in the opening, one of the things that Polo Red is really well known for, or typically has been known for, is the cranberry. And that smells awesome in Polo Red Intense. And while this doesn't have the cranberry, unfortunately, it does still have an opening that's a little bit reminiscent of the Polo Reds of the past. You could almost stretch your mind and imagine the cranberries there. As it heads through the mid, it's aromatic and clean, so you have this great freshness leading into that mid, and it's a little bit tart and sweet at the same time. And then the dry down the base, it's warm, it's sensual, there's a little twist of added orris in here as well, but it's not really a focal point. Still though, really nice smelling fragrance, great versatility just about year round, daytime or nighttime, office safe, casual, date night. You can wear that about anywhere. And of course, with it being the newest one, you could say it's the most modern Polo Red, I guess. So there we go, 10 captivating fragrances, head-turning fragrances that kind of run the gamut from cheap and fresh to more expensive and heavy. I want to thank you guys for hanging with me here until the end. Stay safe out there, guys. I will see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. I'll see you later. Bye.